YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Pinstar Plays The Wandering Village. We featured this on my channel earlier when it was in early alpha, early beta. The official early access is coming out on the 14th, so you can get your hands on the game proper now. But I figured, you know what, let's take another look back, see what changes and updates they've done to it, and maybe do another run through. Maybe we will be as successful as we were the first time, and maybe we won't. I am not fully cognizant of all the changes, but we will find out. Well, should I play veteran? I like to play hard modes on fully released games because the difficulty may be a little bit unbalanced. I'm not saying it is. Like I said, I've never played this before, but I'm going to go with Adept just so that we can get a feel for things. And if I find the going is a bit easy, maybe we can do another run on veteran. But certainly we can do better than novice.
Driven from our homes by the toxic spores, we kept wandering, looking for shelter. But not in our wildest dreams did we imagine what we would find.
Pause button still here. We're off to a good start. Where are we right now? We are in the mountains. There's a group. I think we're going to just bump into them for free. We need to get our scouting party so that we can get outside resources. I remember that being an important thing. So let's take a look at our tech tree. Cactus plantation. That is brand new. That is absolutely brand new. Oh, and our alternative water source. Interesting. Yeah, that was a problem in some of the hot climates. But no, scavenger hut comes first. Now that being said, we need research buildings. And I remember 2 of these were the magic number. This is a nice resource area. Like, this whole area is very resourcey, which is good. So 2 of those. And then this is a nice little patch of berry bushes that we're not going to want to tear down. We're going to actually want the berry gatherer, because that basically lets them continuously gather from them without ripping up the bushes. Because this, again, nice little cluster here. We are going to want to mark these trees for harvesting, but again, want to be careful so that we don't squish the berry bushes. Ooh, and if I put you right here, that gets all of the berry bushes, does not squish any of them. Still only efficiency 45. Down here's a little bit tastier. 58. What if we do down here? 63. Okay, you're talking to my language here. Yeah, that's the way to do it. In that case, we are gonna rip up these berry bushes over here just for immediate food sources. We're also going to grab some stones. I mean, yeah, because the efficiency over here was kind of awful. And this can give us some more, like, this can be like our main town area. All right, air well lets us get water, which we need for our crops, but we're not getting into crops just yet. Let's see, material storage, pantry, water tank. Oh yeah, carpenters and stone cutters, these guys. We do need to get into these. The mycologist, herbalists, all right. Oh, and of course our tents. We have 16 people, so we're gonna need 8 of these tents eventually. Let's get these here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll get a dirt road here to here, like that. We can take down some of these trees while we're at it too, since we're going to need a lot of wood, especially for all those houses. And then I think, yeah, a worker post. If memory serves, a single worker post is important, because I think it lets you basically reserve people as haulers. Although I don't think we need that right away. Let's assess our starting materials. We've got 30. The 2 research buildings are going to take up 2/3 of that. And I want those to hit sooner rather than later. I also want this to hit sooner rather than later. And actually, how much was our 15 and 15? It's going to use up a bit more than we have starting, but that's okay. Okay, we are back. We have named all of our villagers after name and game patrons, and we'll continue to do so while we still have them. If you want your name in the game, take a look at my Patreon link down in the description for more details. Now, my only hesitation about this spot is that I don't think these can grow in the strictly dirt areas. so there's more limited room for expansion. But yeah, we still got research huts, and that's going to get our tech going nice and quick. Also, I think I'm going to pre-clear some of these, because we're probably going to have the kitchen right here and have the kitchen making berries into food. Yeah, if I remember correctly, 2 research huts was the ideal in the last playthrough. That got us through quite nicely, because you start to fall behind a little bit if you only have 1 cooking, but you use up too much of your population if you have 3 or more. And if I remember correctly, it has some diminishing returns on tech speed, so 2 is like the sweet spot. They're quick about getting the roads down, which is nice. Got some extra huts going, which is also quite nice. Yeah, I don't think we'll be for a lack of resources right now. Now, what are these? Onbu spikes. Ooh, can be harvested but reduces trust. Interesting, they're offering that dilemma already. Okay. We want to maintain the trust when possible, because if the Onbu doesn't trust us, they are somewhat likely to ignore our commands once we gain the ability to command them. And plus, we don't want to be mean to the Onbu. We kind of live on them. I'm not sure if the Onbu has an official gender, or has one at all. Alright, so what is your... Yeah, you just need more wood, which we are getting. Alright, gathering up the berries. I mean, we do start with a working supply of berries, and the sooner that we can get that going, the better. Just to shore up our supply, and also the sooner we can get our kitchen researched, the sooner we can start... We could possibly even start turning our base berries into food. Yeah, actually, you know what? Let's do a pantry right here. That will store the base berries, but then also store the kitchen meals, and we put the kitchen right over here. But for the time being, when the berries are out, this will give people a place to sort of locate and bring them over here. I am going to very carefully harvest these trees so we have more wood, but also don't rip up any of the berry bushes that our berry picker is going to be depending on. Because yeah, right now we have plenty of stone, we need the wood, but it looks like we have enough for the actual berry picker itself. And actually, since that little red sign went away here, we have enough for the pantry. We just need, it's just waiting for the materials to be physically brought to it. Yeah, the more berry bushes it has, the more efficient. And more berry bushes do grow slowly over time, but again, it just needs to grow in the green areas. All right, yeah. Well, all this extra wood, even though we don't need it for the pantry, is definitely going to go towards our houses. That will work out nice. We are 64% our way to the kitchen. All right, so now our villagers will start carrying berries to here. We are going to want to start looking into mushrooms. Now, in the last playthrough, I got away without doing a mushroom cultivator for a while because all the mushrooms that I picked were ones that I gathered from outside the Onbu and brought here. I'm going to see if I can get away with that again, but they may have tweaked the balance of that. But that will certainly save us on infrastructure, because the main thing here that we're working on is that our most valuable resources are our people. Because as we keep building things, we're eventually going to run out of workers to do things. And the only way we can really grow our economy in a realistic way is to get more people. Of course, more people means more upkeep and all that stuff. So it's just a matter of getting what we need while using the fewest people that needed to get to it. All right, we do still need more wood, so I'm going to slice these down just so that we have it, because I have a feeling the kitchen, once it's ready to be invented, is going to need a chunk of wood. Don't want to cut down the little trees, because those will eventually grow into big trees, which will then be worth a lot more wood. We've got plenty of stone, and also stone sitting around. Now, the nice thing here is that we are near the edge of the Onbu, because when you get the scouting building, which is coming up after the kitchen, it needs to be near the edge of the Onbu, one of the edges of the Onbu. So this down here is like the perfect place for it. I might even pre-draw some roads down here just to sort of plan that out and get that ready to go. We're almost ready for the kitchen, and then that should flip right over to the scouting post as soon as they're done. There it goes. Kitchen. Oh, we need planks and slabs before we can get into the kitchen. Okay, well, let's get into planks and slabs, because I have a feeling our other buildings are going to require the more advanced stuff. So carpenter and stone cutter is where we get planks and slabs. Now, here's an idea. We may sacrifice a couple of these and hurt a little trust just because the stone is so usefully close so that we can get our stone slabs going. As far as our trees go, the woodcutter up here would make a lot of sense, because there's also this tree over here. Yeah, okay. So carpenter up here is probably the correct answer. Part of me wants to have the carpenter and stonecutter close together so that they can both feed into and out of a common storage. So I kind of want to make them like here, and then put the storage down here, and then just have people bring it to the storage. Like, all right, here's what we hear me out. So that's the carpenter, right? I put the carpenter, good. Now we get the stonecutter. We put the stonecutter over here. Now we get our storage. I know we're queuing up a whole crap ton of buildings. Material storage, and I know there's higher tiers of material storage, and we'll upgrade that when we research that. But we put the material storage there, and then everything comes to it. And then this is just a real quick and easy thing. I think that might be more sensible than building them at the raw material source, because once we cut down the forest, this is going to be the only real repeated thing. And heck, we can always just put down another carpenter if we need it. I'm going to vacuum up these stones here, even though we're not hurting on stones. We're going to be. Yeah, and all the stones that were laying around here are getting mopped up. But yeah, these are all going to get very hungry for them, because not only do we need them to build the buildings themselves, but then they're going to start consuming them, if only to convert them into the finished goods. Yeah, so these can fit not only the raw materials, but the refined materials as well. This is also going to take more workers out of our pool to be stone cutters, and also require workers to bring stuff to them. So it adds a snarl to the economy, to say the least. But they're certainly essential. Like, we can't just not do them like we could get away with mushrooms or not doing mushrooms. Oop, Ambu's awake, which is actually a good thing, because then we're going to be working on that. Now, the one good thing about berries is that they do not require water. All right, what are you short on? You're short on wood, and you're the stone cutter. We need more wood. Let's slice you down. I mean, they're all distracted by the stone, which is what we don't need. But I mean, at least the stone cutter is active, so at least we can start turning and burning our stone here into slabs. We want the settlement, because that's our main way of getting more people. Now, we're going to get some freebies on here on the path, but before the Anbu comes out of range, we want to try and get our settlement built. And I have a feeling that requires the more advanced materials as well. Yeah, no toxicity in the starting biome. Thank goodness. But it just gets worse and worse as they keep wandering. Now, in the original beta, like, you got to a certain point and the game would sort of like, oh, here's a big storm cloud, and then fade to black, and it would end itself even if you were still doing well. But I mean, that was just the scope of the early beta. As far as what's going to happen here, I'm not entirely sure. All right, so he is stone slabbing it up. Good. And it looks like we have enough wood now for our woodcutter. It's also good. However, I think I might actually, depending on how quickly the research kicks in, throw down my scout hut. I'm probably calling it the wrong thing here. Scavenger hut. Close enough. I'm going to throw that down before the kitchen, if only because I want to try and nab that extra village before it goes out of range. The Anbu walks slowly, which is merciful. We're going to need more wood just to feed the woodcutter. Cut around this, just so we don't anger the Anbu before we need to anger the Anbu. Will you let them join the village? Oh, heck yeah. +3 nomads. Yes, excellent. We do need more housing, though. Yeah, worker post, probably not a bad idea at this point. We do want to make sure that our carpenter is well supplied, though. As long as they're actively working on something, that's fine. I just don't want them to be idle. We have our first stone slabs in inventory here. I probably should have thrown these down a little bit sooner. All right, well, I think we're off to a good start here. Will we be able to get our scavengers going so that we can get this hut and maybe tap some of the other goodies? Because there's a lot of goodie nodes around here that I want to tap before we have to deal with it. Also looks like we have a cold snap, but that's not as bad because we're not invested in crops that depend on water and temperature to grow quickly or not. But in the future, there's no getting around that. So if you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya!